Hello, friend. You know what I find endlessly fascinating? We spend so much time imagining our ancient ancestors as these dramatically different beings, constantly hunting, constantly fighting for survival, living on the edge every single moment. But the truth is so much more interesting, and honestly, so much more relatable. Because here's what nobody tells you. Most early humans weren't wrestling woolly mammoths or running from saber-toothed cats. Most days, they were doing something that would look surprisingly mundane, familiar, even. They were dealing with the same fundamental challenges you deal with every single day. They were trying to get comfortable, trying to stay warm, trying to figure out what to eat, trying to get along with their family members and neighbors, trying to entertain themselves, try to make sense of their world, and yes, try and get a good night's sleep. Tonight, we're going to follow one of them through an entire day, a completely ordinary day, 20,000 years ago. And I think you're going to be surprised by how much you recognize yourself in this ancient human's experience. But first, let's get you settled. Find the most comfortable position you can imagine right now. Your ancestors were masters of comfort. They knew how to arrange furs and grasses in their own bodies to maximize rest. Because comfort was precious, was hard-won, was something you created rather than something you bought. So honor that ancient wisdom. Adjust your pillow. Shift your weight. Let your body find its perfect position. Good. Now, dim the lights around you if you haven't already. Our ancestors lived by firelight and starlight, by the gentle glow of flames rather than the harsh glare of electricity. So create that softer atmosphere for yourself. Let the brightness fade. Let the world become gentler, quieter, more conducive to rest. Take a deep breath with me. In through your nose, slowly, deeply, the way our ancestors breathed when they finally stopped moving, finally stopped working, finally allowed themselves a rest after a long day, and out through your mouth, releasing everything you've been carrying, the way they release the weight of their own long days. Again, in and out. Your body knows how to do this. It's been doing this for hundreds of thousands of years. Rest is not something you need to learn. It's something you need to remember. So settle in now. We have all night. We're going to spend a day in the life of someone who lived 20,000 years ago. And along the way, I think you'll discover something comforting. Humans have always been human. We've always struggled and laughed and worried and hoped. We've always been doing our best with what we have. Let's begin. It's just before dawn. 20,000 years ago, somewhere in what will one day be called Southern Europe. But right now, there are no countries, no borders, no place names beyond what the people who live here call in their own language, which has been lost to time. Inside a large cave, not a dark, damp hole, but a well-chosen shelter with a wide mouth that catches the morning sun and keeps out the worst of the weather. A small band of about 30 people is sleeping. Well, most of them are sleeping. Let's focus on one person. Let's call her the Gatherer, because that's her primary role in the band, though she's so much more than that. Mother, daughter, sister, storyteller, healer, teacher, artist. But Gather will do for now. And here's the first thing you need to know about her morning. She really doesn't want to get up. Can you imagine it? Can you feel it? She's lying on a sleeping platform made of branches covered with thick layers of grass, topped with carefully prepared animal furs. Deer hide mostly, with the soft fur of rabbits stitched together for extra warmth. She's curled on her side, her body naturally seeking the warmth of her husband sleeping behind her, her youngest child nestled against her chest. It's comfortable, genuinely comfortable. She spent years perfecting this sleeping arrangement, knows exactly which furs go where, knows how to layer them for maximum warmth with minimum weight. And right now, leaving this comfortable nest feels impossible, but there's light starting to seep into the cave mouth, that pale, cold light of early dawn. And she knows, the way you know when your alarm is about to go off, That inevitable awareness that the day is coming whether you're ready or not. She knows she needs to get up. Why? Because there's work to do. There's always work to do. She lies there for a few more precious moments, doing what humans have done forever when faced with the end of sleep, negotiating with herself. Just a few more minutes. Just until the light reaches that particular spot on the cave wall. Just until someone else gets up first. But her bladder has other ideas. That's what finally drives her from the warmth. Not duty, not responsibility, not a strong work ethic. Just a simple, undeniable physical need to pee. She sighs, a sound that will be completely recognizable to you. A sound of resignation and reluctance that transcends the 20,000 years between her world and yours. Carefully, so as not to wake the baby, she extracts herself from the sleeping furs. The air is cold, shockingly cold after the warmth of the furs. She can see her breath misting in the dim light. She quickly pulls on her outer clothing, a tunic made from deer hide, worn soft from use, and a fur cloak that's seen better days, but still provides essential warmth. As she makes her way toward the cave entrance, her feet finding the path by memory in the semi-darkness, she passes other sleeping forms. She can identify each person by their breathing, their shape, their position. There's her mother, snoring softly, her aged face peaceful in sleep. There's her sister and her sister's family, all piled together in their own nest of furs. There's a young couple who just bonded last summer, still sleeping wrapped around each other with the intensity of new love. And there's Old Wolf. That's what everyone calls him, because he survived a wolf attack as a young man and carries the scars, who's already awake, tending the fire that's kept burning all night. He nods at her silently, a greeting that doesn't require words this early. She nods back, grateful that someone else is always awake before her, that she's not the only one struggling with the transition from sleep to waking. Outside the cave, she takes care of her physical needs quickly. There's a designated area away from the living space where the band manages waste. Even 20,000 years ago, humans understood basic hygiene, basic organization of space. And then, because she's already up, because the day has begun whether she likes it or not, she doesn't go back to bed. Instead, she stands for a moment at the cave entrance, looking out the world as it wakes. The landscape before her is breathtaking in its wildness. Rolling hills covered in grass and scattered trees. A river valley in the distance where morning mist clings to the water. And beyond that, mountains still capped with snow even though it's late spring. The sky is that particular shade of pale blue-gray that only exists in the moments before the sun actually rises. She can hear bird songs starting up, that dawn chorus that's been singing since before humans existed, and will sing long after we're gone. She can smell the earth, damp from last night's dew and the smoke from the fire inside the cave, and something else, something green and growing that she can't quite name, but that means spring, means renewal, means life. And despite her reluctance to leave the warmth of her sleeping furs, despite the cold biting at her exposed skin, despite knowing that a long day of work stretches ahead of her, she feels something. A small spark of something that might be joy or gratitude, or simply the animal pleasure of being alive. The sun breaks over the distant mountains, and the world floods with golden light. A new day, another day. She takes a deep breath of the cold morning air, wraps her cloak tighter around herself, and turns back into the cave to begin the real work of the day. Inside, others are waking now. The baby has started fussing, which wakes the mother, which sets off a chain reaction of stirring and yawning and reluctant emerging from sleeping furs. It's a scene that will be familiar in any household, in any era, that slow, resistant transition from sleep to waking, from rest to responsibility. The gatherer goes to the fire where Old Wolf has already placed a large stone slab to heat. She adds wood to the flames, building them up, because the first task of every morning is the same. Make warmth, make light, make the space livable. Then she checks the food stores. This is one of her primary responsibilities, knowing what the band has, what they need, planning the day's activities around those needs. She finds a basket where yesterday's gathered foods are stored, mostly roots and early greens, some dried meat from a successful hunt 3 days ago, a small amount of honey that's being carefully rationed. It's enough for breakfast, probably, if everyone eats modestly, which means she needs to gather more today, which means walking several miles to the good foraging grounds, which means another long day of physical labor. She feels the weight of this knowledge settle into her shoulders. Not dramatically. She's not going to collapse under burden. But there's a tiredness there, a weariness that has nothing to do with how much sleep she got, and everything to do with the relentless, never-ending nature of survival. Here's what nobody tells you about early human life. It wasn't just dramatic moments of hunting and danger. It was this daily grind of making sure everyone had enough to eat, enough warmth, enough of what they needed to survive another day. It was a mental load of planning and organizing and remembering. It was a physical exhaustion of walking miles every day, of bending and lifting and carrying. It was, in other words, a lot like your life. Different details, same fundamental experience. The weight of responsibility. The tiredness that sleep doesn't quite cure. The sense that there's always more to do than you have energy for. The gatherer feels all of this as she begins preparing the morning meal. But she also feels something else. The quiet competence of knowing how to do her work well. The satisfaction of being needed. The love for the people she's feeding. Even when they annoy her. Even when she's tired of them. She's human. Completely. Recognizably human. 20,000 years might separate you, but the experience of being tired in the morning, of facing a long day of work, of doing it anyway because people depend on you, that's timeless. She places food on a hot stone, roots to roast, meat to warm, a paste made from ground seeds mixed with water. The smells begin to fill the cave, and people stir more actively now, drawn by the promise of food, by the signal that the day has truly begun. Her youngest child toddles over, still half asleep, and wraps small arms around her leg. She reaches down absently, strokes the child's hair, continues her work with one hand while the other provides comfort. This moment, cooking while a child clings to her, managing multiple tasks at once, her mind already racing ahead to everything that needs doing today. This is her reality. This is what early humans actually did. Not constantly fighting for survival in dramatic fashion, but managing the ordinary, endless demands of daily life. Just like you. Breakfast is ready. People gather around the fire, sleepy and grumbling and slowly waking up. Food is distributed. Not equally, exactly. The hunters who will need energy for today's activities get a bit more meat. The nursing mother gets extra of everything. The children get the softest, easiest to eat portions. The gatherer eats her own portion quickly, mechanically, her mind already on the day ahead. She needs to gather food. She needs to check the fish traps in the river. She needs to process the plant fibers she collected 2 days ago, turning them into cordage for various uses. She needs to teach her daughter which plants are safe to eat and which will make you sick. She needs. But right now, right in this moment, she's sitting by the fire with her family and her band, eating warm food, feeling the day begin. And despite everything, despite the weight of all those needs, she's okay. She's alive. She's fed. She's surrounded by people she loves, even if they drive her crazy sometimes. She's doing what humans have always done, getting through another day, one task at a time, and somehow it's enough. The sun has climbed higher now, burning off the morning mist, warming the air to something almost pleasant. The gatherer has left the cave along with several other women and a couple of the older children. Gathering is work that almost everyone can participate in, unlike hunting, which requires specific skills and strength. They're walking through the landscape in a loose group, spread out enough that they can cover more ground, but close enough to talk, to warn each other of dangers, to share the simple companionship of working together. And here's what you need to understand. This walking, this gathering, is not a casual stroll through nature. It's work. Real, demanding, physically exhausting work. Picture yourself with them. You've been walking for over an hour already, and you'll walk for several more before you return home. Not on a smooth path. There are no paths except the ones made by animal hooves, but over uneven ground, through tall grass that hides rocks and holes, up and down hills that make your thighs burn and your calves ache. You're carrying a large basket woven from plant fibers, the kind of basket that took weeks to make. That represents hours of skilled labor. It's empty now, but will be heavy with gathered food on a return journey. You're constantly scanning the landscape, not admiring it, though it's beautiful, objectively beautiful with its wildflowers and bird song and distant mountains, but reading it, looking for the plants you need, watching for the subtle signs that tell you where to find them. The gatherer is a master at this. She's been doing it since she was a child old enough to walk alongside her own mother, learning which plants to gather in which seasons, how to identify them, how to process them, how to know when they're at peak nutritional value. This knowledge is encyclopedic. If we could transport a modern botanist back to walk with her, they'd be astounded by the depth and accuracy of her understanding. She knows hundreds of plant species, knows their growing patterns, their uses, their dangers, knows which parts are edible and which are poisonous, knows how to process the tough ones to make them digestible, how to extract oils and fibers and medicines. She carries all of this in her head. There are no books to reference, no Google to consult, just memory passed down from her mother, who learned it from her mother, stretching back through countless generations. Right now, she's looking for something specific, the wild predecessor of what will one day become wheat, a grain that grows in scattered patches in this region. It's nowhere near as productive as the domesticated wheat your distant descendants will grow, but it's nutritious and, crucially, it stores well. She spots a patch growing on a sunny hillside and calls to the others. They converge in the area, and the real work begins. Each grain has to be hand-picked. There's no harvesting tool, no scythe or sickle. Those won't be invented for thousands of years. Just fingers, carefully plucking each seed head, dropping it into the basket. It's tedious work, repetitive, the kind of work where your mind wanders because your hands know what to do without conscious thought. The gatherer's mind does wander. She thinks about her daughter, who stayed back at the cave today with a slight cough. She worries a bit. Childhood illnesses can turn serious quickly in this world without medicine, but tells herself it's probably nothing. Just a cold. It will pass. She thinks about her husband, who left before dawn with the other hunters, tracking a herd of deer they spotted yesterday. She hopes they're successful. Meat is precious, is celebrated, makes everyone happy. But hunting is dangerous, and there's always that small, cold fear in the back of her mind that he won't come home. She thinks about her aging mother, who's getting too old for long gathering trips, whose hands shake sometimes, who forgets things occasionally. She worries about what will happen when her mother can't contribute to band anymore, whether the others will still want to feed and care for her, whether the gatherer herself will have the resources to support an elderly parent while raising her own children. She thinks about winter, always winter, that looming threat that's months away but never far from anyone's mind. Do they have enough stored? Will they make it through? Who might not survive this time? These thoughts aren't dramatic or unusual. They're the ordinary background hum of her mental life. The same way your mind fills with thoughts about work and family and money and health, and all the things you can't quite control but can't stop thinking about either. She's worrying. Humans have always worried. It's what we do. But she's also working, her hands moving steadily, filling her basket seed by seed. And there's something meditative about this, something almost peaceful despite the physical discomfort and the mental chatter. The sun is warm on her back. The grass smells sweet. A bird is singing somewhere nearby, a sound of pure joy that penetrates even her worried thoughts. Her companions are talking and laughing as they work, sharing gossip and jokes and the comfortable banter of people who know each other well. One of the younger women is pregnant, just starting to show, and the older women are giving her advice, sharing their own pregnancy stories, the terrifying ones and the funny ones and the ones that ended happily. The pregnant woman listens with wide eyes, excited and scared in equal measure, and the gatherer remembers feeling exactly the same way before her first child was born. She offers her own story, the one about how her daughter was born so quickly that there wasn't time to get to birthing area, how she delivered right there in the main living space of the cave, how embarrassing it was, but also how the whole band rallied around her, and now they all joke about it whenever that daughter misbehaves. You were in such a hurry to get here, they say, and look at you now, always running off. Everyone laughs. The pregnant woman looks slightly less terrified. This is what gathering actually is. Hard physical work, yes, but also community, connection, the passing down of knowledge and stories and support, the web of relationships that make survival possible and life bearable. After several hours, the baskets are full, or full enough. The group has gathered wild grains, early spring greens, roots that will be roasted, tubers that will be pounded into paste, and a lucky find of bird eggs from a nest on the ground. The gatherer's back aches from bending. Her fingers are scratched from the rough plant stalks. Her feet hurt from miles of walking. She's thirsty and tired and ready to go home. But there's also satisfaction. She's done her job. She's gathered enough to feed her family and contribute to the band. She's fulfilled her role in the complex web of reciprocity that keeps everyone alive. On the walk back, moving more slowly now with heavy baskets, the conversation continues. Someone spotted bear tracks this morning, and there's discussion about whether the bears are waking up from hibernation, whether they'll be dangerous, whether their territories overlap too much with the band's gathering grounds. Someone else noticed that a particular tree is starting to flower, which means in a few weeks there will be nuts to harvest, and they should remember to come back to this area. Someone complains about her mother-in-law, and everyone laughs because apparently mother-in-law jokes are timeless, transcend culture and era, are just part of being human. The gatherer contributes her own observation. The fish in the river are spawning, which means the traps will be full, which means tomorrow should be an easier day for food gathering, which means maybe she can finally work on that basket she's been planning. Small talk, ordinary conversation, the kind of chat that fills the spaces of any workday, any era. They're not profound. They're not fighting for survival every second. They're just people doing their work, managing their lives, making it through another day. By the time they arrive back at the cave, it's early afternoon. The hunters haven't returned yet, which is unusual. Hunting can take all day, sometimes multiple days, but there's always that small flood of anxiety until they come back safe. The gatherer deposits her basket with the other gathered food, and immediately there's more work to do. The grains need to be processed, separated from their husks, which is tedious, time-consuming work. The greens need to be sorted, the wilted ones discarded, the good ones prepared for the evening meal. She's tired, genuinely tired. She's been up since before dawn, walked miles, spent hours bent over gathering plants. And now there's still more to do. She thinks, just for a moment, about lying down, about going back to her sleeping furs and just resting, taking a break, letting someone else handle the work for once. But she doesn't, because there's work to do, because people depend on her, because this is life, and life doesn't stop just because you're tired. So she sits down with the other women and begins the tedious work of processing grain, her hands moving automatically, her mind drifting again, and she does what humans have always done when faced with exhausting, necessary work. She just keeps going, one seed at a time, one task at a time, one day at a time, and somehow, eventually, the work gets done. The gatherer is in the middle of processing grain, her mind in that pleasant half-focused state where her hands know what to do and her thoughts can wander, when everything changes in an instant. A shout from outside the cave, not a scream of terror, but an urgent call for attention. Everyone stops what they're doing, that instant freeze that happens when the ordinary routine is broken. The hunters are returning, and something is wrong. The gatherer's heart leaps into her throat. That immediate spike of fear that every human feels when someone they love might be in danger. She drops the grain she was holding and runs toward the cave entrance along with everyone else. The hunting party is coming up the path toward the cave, and she can see immediately what the problem is. One of the hunters is being supported between two others, limping badly, his face twisted in pain. It's not her husband. Thank the spirits, not her husband. But it's Running Deer, a young man barely 20, one of the best trackers in the band. What happened is quickly explained in a tumble of excited, overlapping voices. They found the deer herd. They managed to separate one from the group. They were closing in for the kill when Running Deer stepped in a hidden hole, twisted his ankle badly, and went down hard. They got the deer anyway. It's being dragged up the path now by the other hunters. A successful hunt despite the injury. But Running Deer is hurt, possibly badly. His ankle is already swelling, turning dark purple-blue, and he can't put any weight on it. The gatherer immediately shifts into a different role. She's not just a gatherer. She's also one of the band's healers, the person who knows plants and remedies, who sets bones and treats wounds, who bridges the gap between injury and recovery, or sometimes between injury and death. She pushes through the crowd, takes control with the calm authority of someone who's done this before, who knows that panic helps no one. Bring him inside, gently. Put him near the fire where I can see properly. Her voice is steady, controlled, and people respond to that steadiness. Follow her instructions without question. Running Deer is settled on a fur pelt near the fire, and the gatherer kneels beside him, her hands already assessing the injury. She touches the swollen ankle carefully, feeling for broken bones, watching his face for signs of how much pain different pressures cause. He's trying to be brave, that masculine pride that transcends eras, but she can see the pain in his eyes, the fear beneath the stoicism. A bad ankle injury can be serious. If he can't walk, he can't hunt. If he can't hunt, he can't contribute. And in a world where everyone must pull their weight, where there's no safety net, no disability support, that's terrifying. It's not broken, she says finally, and watches relief flood his face. But it's a bad sprain. You're not going to be hunting for a while. She sets to work. First, cold water from the stream carried in a leather pouch, held against the injury to reduce swelling. Then a poultice made from plants she gathered yesterday. Anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, plants whose properties she knows from generations of accumulated knowledge. She works with practiced efficiency, her hands gentle but firm, wrapping his ankle with strips of soft leather to provide support. As she works, she talks to him, asking questions about the hunt, keeping him focused on something other than the pain. Did you get a good look at the deer before you fell? How many points on the antlers? Tell me about the tracking. How did you find them? He answers, grateful for the distraction, and his pride in the successful hunt overtakes his worry about the injury. They tracked for hours. They used every skill they had. And yes, he fell, but they still got the deer. The band will eat well tonight. While the gatherer works on Running Deer, the rest of the band is dealing with the deer carcass. This is an event, a celebration even. Successful hunts aren't guaranteed, and a deer this size will provide food for days, plus materials for 100 other uses. The processing begins immediately. The deer must be butchered, the meat distributed, the hide prepared, the bones set aside for tools. Everyone has a role in this. Even the children help, learning the skills they'll need when they're older. The gatherer finishes with running deer. He'll be okay, he'll heal, but it will take time and he'll need to rest that ankle, really rest it, not try to push through and make it worse. And she joins the butchering work. There's a rhythm to this that she finds almost soothing despite the gore. The sharp stone blade cutting through hide and muscle, the careful separation of different parts, the sorting and organization of materials. It's skilled work, requires knowledge of anatomy, requires precision, and there's conversation flowing around her, the social connection that makes the work easier. People are excited, energized by the successful hunt. There's speculation about how long the meat will last if they smoke and dry most of it. There's discussion about who needs new clothing and could use portions of the hide. There's planning for the evening feast because fresh meat means celebration. Her daughter appears at her elbow. The slight cough from this morning seems better, thank the spirits. And the gatherer shows her how to properly scrape a hide, passing down the knowledge the way it was passed to her. See how you hold the scraper? Angle it just so. Firm pressure, but not too hard or you'll tear it. That's right. Good. You're learning. The pride in her daughter's face is pure and bright, and the gatherer feels a warm glow of satisfaction. This is what she's supposed to be doing, not just surviving, but teaching, ensuring the next generation knows what they need to know. But even in the midst of this productive, communal work, her mind is tracking a dozen other things. Running deer's injury and what it means for the hunting team. The fact that they've had good luck lately. Several successful hunts in the past 2 weeks. But luck doesn't last forever. The approaching summer and what they need to gather and store before the lean months of winter. Her mind is always working, always planning, always worrying a little bit about everything. It's exhausting, actually, this mental load of keeping track of so many things, of trying to think ahead, of carrying responsibility not just for herself, but for others. Sometimes she wants to just stop thinking, stop planning, stop worrying. But she can't, because this is her role. This is what she does. This is how she contributes to the survival of the people she loves. So she keeps working, keeps thinking, keeps carrying the weight of all those mental tasks. Just like you do. Different details, same fundamental experience. The butchering takes hours. By the time they're done, the sun is getting low in the sky, and everyone is tired and bloody and satisfied. The meat has been sorted and stored. The hide is being processed. The bones have been set aside for tool making. Nothing is wasted. Everything has value. The gatherer washes her hands in a basin of water, scrubbing away the blood, and she feels the tiredness in her bones. She's been working since before dawn, and the day isn't over yet. There's still the evening meal to prepare, children to care for, a dozen small tasks to complete before she can finally rest. But there's also satisfaction. She's done good work today. She's helped running deer. She's contributed to the processing of the deer. She's taught her daughter. She's fulfilled her role in the complex web of reciprocity and responsibility that keeps the band functioning. And tonight, they'll feast. They'll eat fresh meat and tell stories around the fire and celebrate the successful hunt. That's worth looking forward to. That's the reward for the day's hard work. So she gathers her energy for one more push, one more set of tasks, and she continues doing what humans have always done, making through the day one moment at a time. Evening has arrived, and with it, the transformation of the cave from a workspace into something closer to a home. The fire has been built up until it's roaring, bright and hot, casting dancing shadows on the walls and filling the cave with warmth and light. The smell of roasting meat fills the air, that particular scent of deer fat dripping onto hot stones, of meat cooking over an open flame, a smell that would make any human, any era, immediately hungry. The gatherer tends to cooking, turning the meat, making sure it doesn't burn, that it cooks evenly. Around her, the band is gathering for the evening meal. This is the social heart of the day, the time when work stops and people can simply be together, can eat and talk and laugh and connect. Children are running around, excited by the prospect of fresh meat, by the festive atmosphere that a successful hunt always brings. The elders are settling into their favorite spots near the fire where it's warmest. The young adults are engaged in a complex social dance of flirting and friendship and rivalry that happens in any group of humans. The gatherer watches all of this with a dual consciousness of being both participant and observer. She's part of this community, but she's also somehow outside it, seeing it clearly, understanding the patterns and dynamics that govern their interactions. The meat is ready, and the distribution begins. This is a delicate social process, governed by unspoken rules that everyone understands. The hunters who brought down the deer get honor portions. The elders get the choicest, most tender bits. The nursing mothers get extra. Children get appropriate amounts. Everyone else receives their fair share. The gatherer takes her own portion, good meat, properly cooked, and settles near the fire with her family. Her husband sits beside her, tired but satisfied with the day's hunt. Her children cluster around, eating with the single-minded focus that children bring to meals when food is good. She bites into meat, and the flavor explodes in her mouth. Rich, fatty, satisfying in a way that plant foods never quite are. This is a taste that humans have craved for hundreds of thousands of years. The taste that means plenty, that means celebration. That means a band will eat well for days. For a moment, she allows herself to just enjoy it, not thinking about tomorrow's work, not planning or worrying, just eating, savoring, being present. Around the fire, conversation flows and mingles with the crackling flames. Someone is telling a story about a previous hunt that went hilariously wrong. Someone else is teasing the young man who's been making eyes at her daughter. Gentle teasing, but with an edge that says, "We're watching you, be respectful." Old Wolf, the eldest member of the band, is starting to tell one of his famous stories, and everyone settles in to listen. He's a master storyteller, knows how to pace and pause, knows how to use his voice to create tension and release, knows how to make people laugh and gasp and lean forward in anticipation. The story he tells tonight is an old one everyone has heard before. It's about the first hunt, when humans learned to work together to bring down prey much larger than themselves. But the way Old Wolf tells it, it feels fresh, feels new, even though the gatherer could probably recite it word for word. He acts out the parts, using different voices for different characters. He mimics the movements of the prey animal, making everyone laugh. He builds tension slowly, making the outcome uncertain even though everyone knows how it ends. He delivers a climactic moment with perfect timing. And even though they all knew it was coming, people still gasp and cheer. This is art. This is entertainment. This is culture. And it's also more than that. Embedded in the story are lessons about cooperation, about strategy, about respecting the animals you hunt. It's teaching disguised as entertainment, values passed down through generations of retelling. The gatherer watches her children listening to Old Wolf, their eyes wide, completely absorbed in the story. She remembers being that age, listening to her own grandfather tell these same stories, feeling that same wonder and excitement. And she knows that someday when Old Wolf is gone, someone will have to take up the role of chief storyteller. Maybe her husband, who has a good memory and a flair for drama. Maybe her daughter, who already loves to tell elaborate tales. Maybe someone else entirely. But the stories will continue. They always have. That's how humans work. We pass things down. We preserve what matters. We connect the past to the future through the simple act of telling and retelling. The meal winds down gradually. Bellies are full. The fire is burning lower. Children are getting drowsy, leaning against their parents, eyes heavy despite their best efforts to stay awake and be part of the adult world. The gatherer's youngest is already asleep, curled in her lap like a small animal, completely trusting, completely safe. She strokes the child's hair absently, feeling the soft warmth, the steady breathing, the precious weight of the small life that depends on her. Conversations are getting quieter, more intimate. People are pairing off into smaller groups, having the kind of low-voice discussions that happen when energy is fading and the public face can relax a bit. The gatherer finds herself in conversation with her sister and her mother, 3 generations of women sitting together in the firelight, talking about nothing and everything. Her mother is remembering when she was young, when the band was smaller, when winters were harder. Her sister is worried about her oldest son, who's at that difficult age, not quite child but not quite adult, testing boundaries and making poor decisions. The gatherer listens, offers thoughts when asked, but mostly just enjoys the companionship. This feels good. This feels right. 3 women, 3 different stages of life, connected by blood and experience and the simple fact of being together. Eventually, her mother rises to go to bed, moving slowly, her joints stiff from a long day of sedentary work. The gatherer feels a pang watching her, seeing how age has diminished this woman who once seemed so strong, so capable, so eternal. We all get old, she thinks. We all slow down. We all eventually become the ones who need caring for rather than the ones who care. It's sobering, and also somehow comforting. The cycle continues. Youth to adulthood to old age, birth to death. Over and over, generation after generation. She's part of that cycle. Her children are part of that cycle. Everyone is. And there's something peaceful in that acceptance, in understanding that you're part of a pattern much larger than your individual life. Her sister says goodnight, gathers her own sleeping children, heads to her section of the cave. The gatherer stays by the fire a little longer, not quite ready for sleep, enjoying the rare quiet now that most of the band has settled for night. Her husband is already snoring softly on their sleeping furs, exhausted from the day's hunt. Her older children have put themselves to bed. The youngest is still in her lap, a warm, sleeping weight. She should go to bed. She's tired. Tomorrow will be another long day of work. But she stays by the fire just a few more minutes, watching the flames dance, feeling the warmth, thinking about the day that's ending and the day that will begin all too soon. This moment, this quiet, peaceful moment alone with her thoughts, this is precious. This is hers. And she savors it, stretching it out as long as she can before the demands of sleep and tomorrow pull her away. Eventually, even the gatherer must surrender to sleep. She rises from the fire, carefully, so as not to wake the child in her arms, and makes her way to the sleeping firs where her family waits. She lays the youngest down, covers the small body with soft furs, watches for a moment to make sure the child is settled, is comfortable, is safe. Then she lies down herself between her sleeping husband and her sleeping children, surrounded by warmth, by the gentle sounds of breathing, by the profound comfort of not being alone. Her body is tired, genuinely tired, from a day that began before dawn and is only now ending hours and hours later. She's walked miles, gathered food, processed grain, treated an injury, butchered a deer, cooked a feast, cared for her children, participated in her community. She's done everything that needed doing, and now she can rest. Her muscles release, one by one, the tension draining away like water soaking into thirsty earth. Her breathing slows, deepens, matching the rhythm of the people around her. Her mind, finally, after hours of planning and worrying and managing, begins to quiet. She thinks about tomorrow. For just a moment, there will be more work. There's always more work. But tomorrow is tomorrow. Tonight, she can let it go. Tonight, she can simply sleep. The fire burns low, casting dancing shadows, creating a pocket of warmth and light in the vast darkness. Outside the cave, the night world continues. But she doesn't need to be part of it, doesn't need to be vigilant, doesn't need to worry. She's safe, surrounded by her people, in a space they've made secure. She can surrender to sleep completely without fear. And 20,000 years later, you can do the same. You've done your own work today, different work than hers, but work nonetheless. You've managed and planned and worried and carried responsibilities. You've done what needed doing. And now, like the gatherer, you can rest. Your day is done. Whatever didn't get finished can wait. You've done enough. You are enough. You can let go now. Feel your body sinking into the surface beneath you, the way the gatherer sank into her furs. Feel your breathing, slowing, deepening, matching the ancient rhythm of humans resting. Feel your mind, quieting, releasing, letting go of the day. You are safe. You are held. You can sleep now. The gatherer sleeps across 20,000 years. And you can sleep too, in the same way, with the same trust, with the same deep surrender. Sleep, dear friend, sleep. The fire burns low. The darkness is gentle. The night will keep you safe. Rest, restore, dream. Sleep,